Have you ever felt someone pulling away from you and it's like your whole body goes into panic? They start acting colder or they're quieter or they're kind of distracted and you try not to show it, but every instinct in you wants to close the gap. Like text them, run to them, explain, fix whatever's happening before you lose them. You know it's not helping. I know you know that because what's happening inside you isn't just sadness or fear. It's an old abandonment wound. It's the same one that formed when you were just little and somebody you depended on emotionally, maybe your mom or dad, became absent in your life. That's what an abandonment wound does. It takes a small loss in the present and makes it feel like life or death. And you feel like if this person leaves, you might break. Even when you try to act like you're okay, you're holding on for dear life. But that instinct, the chasing, the apologizing, the reaching for someone who's moving away, it doesn't protect you. It reactivates the wound, and it keeps all your peace and your power like tied to whether someone else decides that they want you. And the other person feels that. It actually pushes them away. So the awful thing is, the more you chase, the more likely they are to actually leave. Now, if you've been through this before, if you've ever watched yourself just lose your dignity and composure because you couldn't bear someone withdrawing from you, you know how painful that is. But there's a way out of that loop. And it's not about pretending that you don't care. It's about learning what to do when that feeling hits, that dread sense of fear and grief that says, oh God, I'm about to be left. Because that moment right there, that is where you have a chance to do something very, very different this time. When someone starts to pull away, your mind, it'll start racing. You're trying to explain it to yourself. You're rationalizing it. You're analyzing, what changed? Did I say something wrong? Who was it? Are they not into me? And all the while, your nervous system is just sitting there in full alarm. You might not even notice how your body feels, the tightness in your chest, the buzzing in your head, the urge to act right now, fast, urgent. It feels like, you know what I've called it? Mental nausea. That's an emotional flashback. It's what happens when an old emotional injury gets triggered. The injury of being abandoned, ignored, or made to feel invisible when you were very small and powerless to stop it. Now, you might not even remember the original incident or, time in your life when that was happening. But now, when someone in your adult life withdraws, that ancient set of toxic emotions come up to the surface as if it's happening all over again. And it tells you that you're in danger and can make you act odd for the circumstances. It makes you desperate to restore connection. It's not even about love in these moments. It feels like survival. So that's why don't chase isn't as simple as just stop texting. That, some people give that advice. You're not fighting a bad habit. You're facing your oldest survival reflex, and it's distorting your ability to read the situation correctly. So what can you do instead? The first step is to pause. When you notice that surge, that compulsion to reach out, explain, fix, or apologize, stop. Just say to yourself, I'm having an emotional flashback. And just getting outside yourself long enough to acknowledge this breaks the chain between the panic and the action. It gives you this tiny bit of separation from the feeling so you can remember, this is my abandonment wound talking. This isn't proof of anything. And when you name what's really happening, you begin to calm the part of your brain that is screaming, danger, danger. It doesn't erase your pain, but it gives you room to breathe. And this is a good time to move your body. Just, stand there and shake your arms, bounce on your legs a little bit with your knees a little bit bent, twist, just shake it off. It's a body stress. You can drink some water. You can take some deep breaths. And if you want more emergency measures to get out of a dysregulated state like that, I've got a list for you. I'll put that down in the description section in the top row. It's free. And this is a good thing to keep handy if you go through these intense reactions sometimes. The moment you stop chasing, the old wound comes up full force. And it hurts. You'll feel the emptiness that you've been trying to escape. You think, I've just got to get them back. And that's the moment that you start to heal. Not when they return, but when you stay with yourself through that pain of maybe I haven't been chosen. And you might cry and you might feel lost. You might even think, I can't take it. I cannot take this. But you can. What's unbearable is not the person's withdrawal. It's the feeling of being that abandoned little kid again. And once you come out of that space, the panic, the dread, once you can feel yourself in the room again, this is when you can make a different choice. You can decide not to chase, not to frantically text them, not because you're giving up, but because you trust that whatever is happening with the other person, you are safe. Whatever they're doing, however they feel about you, even if they might be pulling away, you are caring for yourself. You can handle this. And when you let that in, you are giving yourself back your dignity. Now, a lot of people think that not chasing means you're playing games or you're pretending not to care. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about grounding yourself before you decide anything. Because when you're calm again, you can see what's actually true. And sometimes the person who's pulling away is just busy or they're overwhelmed or they're not sure what they feel. Sometimes, yes, they're losing interest or quietly stepping back. You can't know until you're steady enough to observe. The reality is that if someone does want to leave, they're not the one for you. And what's leaving is the idea of them, the way that you pictured the future with them. But what's really happening is the way is being cleared for the right person to find you. You're gaining space to do the healing that you've always needed to be ready for real love. And what you want is someone who fits with you and loves you and stays. And the person who can do that can't find you when all your emotional energy is wrapped up with someone who keeps you sad all the time like this. Time will tell. And all you have to do right now is observe what's happening. You don't have to do anything about it. The relationship is revealing itself to you, maybe as a lasting thing or maybe as a fleeting thing. But you are safe either way. Now you can choose how to respond. Maybe you say something simple like, you know what, I've noticed some distance lately and I care about you. And if you want to talk, I'm here. And then you stop. That's not chasing. That's just saying how you feel, just calm and simple. Chasing is when you start twisting yourself up to get a reaction, when you send 10 messages trying to sound casual, or apologizing for being too much, or inventing reasons to reach out. These are all attempts to stop the pain inside you by controlling the other person. And I know you know this. It never works. So here's what does work. Facing the pain directly in yourself. The pain is the thing that is triggering you. There's a way that you can get that pain out from here and over here, which gives you emotional relief. And every traumatized person needs emotional relief. And how I learned to get that so that I could get through anything was with my daily practice techniques. It's a specific writing exercise followed by a restful meditation. And I teach exactly how to do this, and doing it properly is actually really important. And it's in a free course that I made for you. It's called The Daily Practice. And I'll put the link down below in the second line of the description section, right below this video, so that you can find it easily. Try it. Just having a way to discharge all that panic, it can help you come back to a centered and rational place where you can decide how you want to respond to how the other person is treating you. When you do this, your choice about the matter comes back in your hands. Your power returns. And this is a completely different energy than chasing energy. And it will get you such different results. You're not that child anymore. You have more tools now. You can accept truth of what's happening without collapsing. You can take care of your life, stand on your feet, care for your body, your responsibilities, your spirit, while the feeling runs its course. Now, every time you do that, you build strength that isn't dependent on anyone else's behavior or how close they are to you. Sometimes, when you stop chasing, the person does come back because the pressure is gone and they feel safe to engage. So sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. But in both cases, you come out stronger because you stayed true to yourself. You didn't beg for love. You didn't make yourself smaller to make it work a little longer. And that's how you start breaking the old pattern. People often ask me, but what if I lose them forever by not chasing? And I say, if the only way to keep them is to abandon yourself, what are you actually keeping? Someone who makes you feel sad all the time? So if someone is pulling away and you want more from them, just don't chase. Stay with yourself, feel the fear, and get it on paper so you don't have to act on it. Just let the feeling pass. Allow the person to show you who they are and what their intentions are. Because when you stop chasing, you start seeing clearly, and over time you'll see that your ability to stay calm in the face of distance is the same skill that lets you build real intimacy, the kind that isn't about fixing someone or holding on or controlling them, but about meeting each other as equals, freely. And that's what makes you truly safe. Not because no one ever pulls away again, but because when they do, you know how to stay right where you are. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Today, what's happening is your own behavior. And the worse you were hurt back then, the more likely it is that you have a pattern of hurting yourself now.